Okay, so March 19th, 2022. I'm getting ready to do a second batch of homemade macaroni here because I am gonna make a box full. Yeah. I guess you could say this is a safe quote-unquote YouTube video because I'm gonna put this up on YouTube because I can upload now. Right? Just to let people know when they come to my channel what's going on. Right? I got a strike for expressing how I really felt about what's going on and how it affects my family and puts my family in danger. And I'm tired of being with my family in danger all the time. It's been too many years. So anyway, as you can see, I'm not really up for this, but that's why I said you do it in batches. You spread it out over a course of a month or two. And then this way, you'll get a full box of this stuff, which is primo stuff, okay? I really like this idea, people, okay? Packed nice in the box. Last long, 2 years plus, right? Because it's nicely sealed. And you can make them family size, or you can make them individual size. There's 4 of these little round packets of homemade egg noodle, aka homemade macaroni, right? That for an individual, that would be really nice. For a family, that's good for 4 people. That's good for 8 people. Okay? Eggs are still abundant for the most part. And they're affordable if you shop around. Flour is still available and affordable for the most part. So I highly recommend that you take some time over the next couple of months and do this for yourself. And when you feel that you have to, you're struggling with, because you got to do this and you got to do that and you got to do that over there and that's over there needing to be done like ASAP, and you feel that you just don't have any time. Like my dishes, I got 2 stacked full sinks of dishes, right, between Andre, and he goes through a lot of cups because he's always drinking milk or chocolate milk or juice or whatever it is. And I drink coffee, So between the 2 of us, go through a lot of cups. And then, of course, there's Amari's dishes, and just, it only takes a day. Let's just put it that way, people. It just takes 1 full day, okay, before I have 2 full sinks of dishes, and I have to do dishes. And I'm like, okay, well, what you gonna do? You can take the next 2 hours out and do the dishes, and then think that you're gonna come in here and start rolling out dough, right? As if, okay? Because I get tired very quickly. As a matter of fact, I wake up tired. So, some days I'm more tired than other days, right? And I'm like, no. Take your energy and do this. Because dishes will always be there. It's something that I do almost daily, people. If I miss one day, right? And that's what happened. I didn't do them yesterday because I knew I was going to do them today. But normally I start washing it anywhere between 4 in the morning, 7 in the morning, and by 11, I'm pretty much caught up with dishes, okay? But I don't want to spend 2 hours doing dishes right now. Just to have another pile of dishes tomorrow, right? That's every day. So this is not an everyday thing. This is what I'm trying to say. So you take your highest point of energy, wherever that is, after you wake up, and you apply it to things like this, okay? And then, after you're done, take a little break and go find your way. You know, I figure halfway through the day, I'll try and do 2 batches back to back, right? Get that out of the way, because, you know, it's not easy, right? And then I'll start picking at dishes, right? And then after I get half the dishes done, or so, you know, or a third maybe, then I'll come in here and I'll do a third batch, right? Three times, right? 3 cups of flour, 6 eggs, basically, a little bit of salt. Do that 3 times. And then I dehydrate 2.5 of that, and I keep a half, just a little half of one out, because we like to eat it, and Andre really wants more, right? And then I'm good. And then factor it in another 2 or 3 days from now, right? Until you get to where it is that you get what you want, where you feel like you can relax. Like I want a full box. See how big this box is? Huh? I don't know how many of those I'm going to have to do. Probably 4 or 5 times by the time I'm done, right? But it will be worth it, okay? And then after that, if you want another box, right, if you do, then you can, again, space it out. So don't think that you can't do it, because you can fit it into your day, right? Now, so this time though, like I said, I need a bigger table. I don't have one, so I have to do with what I got, right? These noodles, now I'm using bread flour because I'm too lazy to go around looking for white flour. Oh wait, no, I'm not using bread flour. I got bread flour right there. I'm just using old flour that's in a bucket. Okay. So anyway, what happens is when you cook, there's the bucket down there. When you cook your egg noodle, depending on the thickness, right? When it gets into the water, it will swell up a little bit. Okay. I mean, yeah, it all goes down one way, right? It all tastes good. So, I've got this, just freestyle flaked pieces of noodle. I've got the long ones that are wrapped up and made into little piles. So I figure since I have a little bit more, I don't want to say energy, but maybe motivation. This time, when I make the egg noodle and I roll it out, I'm just going to roll it out in half. Where last time I took the whole ball and I was going to cut it in half and do it, but I was rushing, right? You know, this time I want to just take the time to cut the dough in half and roll out half where it's a little more thinner. So after I roll it up and slice it, those ends are going to come out thinner so that when you cook it, it's not so bulky. And I'm like, okay, why are you so anal about it? Like, why are you being so, who cares, right? You know, just get it done, right? Right? In my head, you know, thinking, right? And I'm like, yeah, but if you do it that way, if you think about it, you know, when you package them in different kind of ways, you can plan different meals around them. For example, if I had to get creative with just basic egg noodle and I wanted to do something different, I could take these ones, which are kind of like already in a single portion, right? Put all 4, okay, in a nice frying pan, preferably cast iron. you know, put a little bit of water in there. Start simmering them up a bit, softening them up, right? You know, getting ready to cook them. And then you could cook them after they soften up. Then you could fry them like patties. Okay, I'm just trying to think, what would you do that would be different than the standard way you would do things. Okay, or at least in terms of homemade macaroni and how you grew up with it in your household. So then you could fry them individually after they've been softened up and they're ready to do something with, right? Because normally you fry them after you boil them, right? Okay, so there you could really crisp it up. You could and make it tasty with whatever you're using as a spice, right? Like you could even put like those jalapenos in a jar, right? You could sprinkle a few jalapenos in your frying pan and fry it with that. I'm just using that as an example. And then if you really wanted to get even more creative, you could make a little sauce that you could just pour around the patties after they've been fried. And then you'd have, because there's 4 in here, 4 people get 1 patty, or, you know, men tend to eat more when, you know, so 2 patties for a man, right? That type of thing. Well, a man could wolf this down all by himself, really. That's why I say single portions. It really depends. The point is that you could get 4 of these with a different taste, okay? Whereas with these ones, this is your standard that you throw into a pot, you'd bring to a boil, you'd strain, and then you just fry them in a frying pan with some, you know, have onions already fried and bacon already fried, and then after the fact, you fry it after you fried these for a little while, toss them around, whatever. You combine the two, you smash your garlic, you put some water in your little garlic bowl with your garlic, you have your cottage cheese or your sour cream, and you just mix everything together, and you're in heaven, okay? Right? That's your standard, right? And because they're cut a little more thicker, you know, you can get away with it, right? Whereas this time, oh, I wanted to get sarcastic, people. You see, this is the reason why I don't think I'm going to be putting up any videos up on YouTube for a while, because I just got snide, and I wanted to say, well, I'm wondering if YouTube staff is feeling, I don't know, smug that they got me in that bitch position where, you know, I'm nothing more than a quote-unquote safe video. Okay? We're not gonna look at why I'm doing this. And if we do, it's only briefly. It doesn't get into the guts of things in terms of, let me talk about why I'm doing this, people. Well, we know because of the government and what our governments have been doing. And instead of just doing it to my family, like they've been doing it for all these years, now they're doing it to a whole lot of other families. And it's becoming normal within society. Okay, now that I got that off my chest, that is the reason why I don't think I'm going to be putting up too many videos on YouTube, because as I'm going about whatever I'm going on about here, if you're watching my videos and you're continuing to listen, and then all of a sudden I jump into something like off topic, I don't want to feel like I have to bite my tongue, people. I just don't. Okay? I left abusive relationships for a reason. Okay? And for YouTube staff and the CEO and all those whatever, you know, like, maybe it's okay for them to think that it's okay for them to be abusive because it's business, right? You know how they always say, well, it's just my job. It's just business, you know? Yeah, okay. So anyway, I'm doing this video just so that I can put it on YouTube, so if people wonder why I'm not uploading on YouTube, it's because of what just happened. I'm talking about egg noodles, and then I start thinking about, well, gee, YouTube must be just laughing and being real smug, you know, real smug that they got me exactly where they fucking want me. Right? And then what results from that, people, is no justice, no peace, and whatever sacrifices my family has been through all these years, including losing their lives, will be all done in vain. It will be pointless. It will mount out to nothing. It won't bring no positive change. No matter how much you think it could or it should, it won't happen, because the elite, the predator class, the corporations, the ones that just do business, they don't want it to happen. So, the next video that I do, more than likely will just go up on BitChute. Yup. Because for all I know, I could be getting a strike for this video. That's how serious this is. And I'm not a criminal, people. My family are the victims to criminals who provide misinformation time after time after time after time within our communities. And that's why I'm doing this stuff. Okay? Because I just don't live in my own little bubble within my own little province thinking that my government is going to look after my family and make sure that there's food on the shelves when the shit hits the fan. So I'm doing stuff like this. A safe YouTube video that has no substance outside of whatever it is that I got to say after this video is going to be on fucking BitChute. How about that? So, if you want, you can go there. If you can't, because you can't access the website, I'm sorry. You're going to have to find a way. Because I can't continue, you know, I just can't, people. I just can't. Okay? There comes a time where every person who is in an abusive relationship has to find a way to leave it. I'm not a robot. I can't be reprogrammed. Unlike the staff at fucking YouTube and Google headquarters. Okay? So this time, see how now I'm jumping with going into that safe mode? Okay? Well, this time, when I make the dough, I'm cutting it in half. And I'm going to make an attempt, being that I have all this excess energy that I can't afford to waste, and I'm going to roll it out a little more thinner, just a little more, as best as I can. I'm going to cut it the traditional way, and being that I'm making 3 batches, maybe I'll do another one of those wrapped around like that, but I want the dough thinner this time, because in that situation, I know, I'm going up and down, up and down. In that situation, because I'm trying to figure this out, right? In that situation, so we got your regular onions, bacon, crushed garlic, and sour cream or cottage cheese, right? We've got these ones nicely crisply fried with jalapenos and a little soya sauce or something like that, like a Asian sauce of something, you know, something really good, right? That would be so delicious, people. You don't know, right? And then if I cut the same way, okay, like this, and even like this, but only have the dough rolled out thinner. You see, that's the secret, okay? That is the secret. If I roll out the dough thinner and make, don't rush, right? Just try and cut the pieces a little thinner. When it cooks, you can do different things with it. Okay? You can make a completely different dish. I can't think what I would do with it. All I know is I want to do something different with it. I just quite haven't figured it out. I'm thinking kind of like after you cook it, I don't want to say use mushroom soup and, do something like that and maybe bake it more like a casserole with other things inside. Right? Do you understand what I'm saying here? So if we got that and they're cut a little thinner, we boil it and then we put it into a baking dish of some kind, and then we add in, I don't want to say tomatoes, but you could add like a tomato sauce, a mushroom sauce, a cheese sauce. Cheese sauce would be really good, right? With the dry curd. Oh, that would be dry cottage cheese. Sprinkle that around and then have some sort of a mild cream sauce in there with some dill. And do you see how now that you still got the egg noodle, but now you've got a whole new dish. And because they're nicely cut thin, or here's another idea, because they're cut really, really thin, and I'm going to try really hard, right? And they boil up just a little more thinner. In a situation like that, whether you use fresh peas, like a bag of frozen peas that are like normal peas, or whether you use canned peas, or whether you use dry peas, it wouldn't matter. You could take a whole bunch of peas and just mix it in half and half. Well, not half peas and half noodle, but maybe noodle and then maybe a third of peas. Do you understand? With just a little bit of chopped up onion that was sauteed off to the side. That'd be so good. And then mix it all up. Oh boy, that's what I'm talking about, okay? Right? It would be delicious. And so now we've got 4 different kinds of meals that we can make with this homemade macaroni that was slightly cut different and rolled out just a little more different, and then, dried differently in terms of individual, patties or whatever. Okay, hold on. Okay, so once you get to the rolling out stage, you're halfway done in terms of you're on a roll. Right? Nothing's stopping you now. Okay? You got the muster to follow through on your goal. Right? And then you pick on dishes or whatever it was that you were supposed to be doing over there instead of maybe doing this. But once this is done, oh boy, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. So this time now I cut it in half, and I'm now going to roll it out even thinner as best as I can. And then I'm also going to cut it thinner as best as I can because I want a different texture, right? Because once you start bringing in different textures, then you can get more creative. Do you see how much energy this takes? Oh boy. The totality of what we're looking at. Yeah. We're only seeing the part. Then you can get creative on how you want to cook it up. Right? We got 4 different ideas right now. That's only 4. I'm sure there's many more that you can do. Right. So I'm going to put my link to my BitChute channel in the description box. But as I'm thinking about that, I'm wondering if YouTube will give me another strike. It's not like they can censor it out of comments, right? If you put it in a comment, they'll just censor it out. Even your own website, like with the foundation and stuff, they just censor it out. It's stupid. Sometimes they do that, sometimes they don't. But if you try and link into another website like BitChute or something like that, posting a video that maybe you've seen and you want somebody else to see it because you're talking about something on comments, they won't allow it to go through. They'll just delete it. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. That's like waiting for the abusive husband to come home and then start screaming at you because you didn't do something the way it was supposed to be done on time, right? Or you didn't do something that you didn't even know that you were supposed to do, and you get into trouble for it anyway, right? Just to fuck your head over, you know? So, hopefully this video won't create another strike, but this is no way to live life, as you can see. I shouldn't have to worry about stupid shit like that, right? And so this video is just to let you know that more than likely, if I do any videos after this, I'll be putting them up on BitChute for a while. And then this way I don't feel like just don't feel like I'm being, you know, you just don't know when it's coming, right? Sorry, I can't stay on topic of quote-unquote macaroni. Oh, I just want to get this stuff done. And then I'm like, oh my God, spring is coming. Things are going to start growing. The apples are going to be dropping. And you're going to be making all that apple sauce, fruit sauces for Amari. Yeah, I'm going to start all over again. I'll make some more apple juice this year. Andre wants me to make apple peel syrup. So I'm definitely going to do that because it's good. And I got, you know, what I need for the most part. I mean, I always need more jars, but we'll see. See how it goes. You know, Amari really likes the fruits that I make. So this time around, oh boy, it's going to take a long time to stretch this out. But I'm determined to do it. This is where you start getting hot. Hold on. Okay, so considering all things said, when I did two pieces together, right, two little balls together, like the whole, when I did the whole one, right, that's just half. It was pretty much from here to about here. So what I'm saying is I don't know if I got it any more bigger, right? Because when you look at it, I mean, I don't want to be here for hours. I'm like getting hot. Hold on. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm cutting them, because I mean, I'm not rushing as much, right? I'm cutting them really, really thin. Do you see that? And don't forget, my eyes are bad, so I have to take my time. And I'm using this little knife, and I'm really trying to pay attention to what I'm doing here, right? Obviously, I get a glare. I don't see as well as I'd like to, but... And then, this way, when it cooks... Right? Look how thin that is. You know, you can make another meal around it. So as I'm doing this, I'm thinking, okay, well, now that you're on this bandwagon, what would happen if you made mini pita with just potato inside and salt and pepper, maybe, right? In other words, you'd make a potato dough. Thing is, though, you have to put shortening in the dough in order to make it nice. But you only use like a tablespoon or so, so maybe it would be okay. And then you could make pita with potato inside and dehydrate it. I'm wondering if that would work, people. I'm almost motivated to try it. Right? Just like it did in the nebula we just saw a moment ago. I don't know. This process, I don't know if anyone's ever done that before. The enemies of Christ do not right? Want you to know just make them small. That's all. You don't have to. I mean, they do other things like that, I think. While there is still time. Potato is okay. Hold on a minute. Okay, so definitely thinner all the way around. This is nice. Okay, and then can you see what happens here? Look,
know,
You
according
see?
to what
Do
I
you see what's going
understood
on?
and knew at the time. But in hindsight,
Right?
now that the
You
Lord has
just
shown me so
break
much
them up,
more,
okay?
I
Right?
understand what I was seeing then.
That's
And I had misinterpreted it.
right.
And that's why we're out here every
And you
week,
just
every
dry it.
month, trying to put this information out.
See,
So
they
that
come
people
like
can
this
understand
sometimes. You have
what
to bind
the
them,
Lord is trying to tell
and you
us
just
and
break
warn
them
us
up.
about. Anyway, all of
Right?
that being said,
You don't have to
let's
separate
listen
them. Just
to
break
what
them up
he was shown
so
and
everything dries. Now,
take
I'm
it back
drying
if
this
it sounds
on the
anything
tray
like
for a
what
little
the
while in the air,
it was passing over.
and then I'm putting them in the dehydrator. Okay?
Here it is.
So
The dream that I actually had
I'm going to try and do this
lines up exactly what the Bible says
3 more times.
about
I'm
what's
going to finish with the
happening.
half batch that I've got and do another batch
Pretty much what happened.
in half to get the same kind of
The
texture.
dream is short.
All right,
This
see,
is the last one
they're all
I've
over
ever
in there.
had
This
many,
is the
but
way it
this one
was
specifically
when I was a kid.
was terrifying.
All right.
So,
Okay, so just as a recap, when you're doing this, don't use any flour. Otherwise, it won't stretch out. And be prepared to exercise your muscles. Right? Get your lungs moving. Okay? You just keep going like this. That's all you do.
The energy structure of an atom is identical to
try and pull.
What we call a planet, which is exactly what I was talking about in those videos that I mentioned. And
pull with the roller.
In 2004, and this stuff wasn't declassified until 2013 and released to the public in 2016.
Okay.
So, it's amazing.
And when you see it not moving no more,
as if the core of the Earth would be the nucleus of an atom.
That's when you
the pole shift right here. In 1/4 to 1/2 a day, the poles move almost to the equator, and all hell breaks loose. He describes what
that's when you flip it.
like from the surface of Earth when the
and if you notice,
shifting, but then you
it holds its shape.
and the atmosphere not shifting
okay.
at the same rate. So the oceans literally
lay it back down.
Out of their basins, like you see a pool during an earthquake, and that's what will cause these tsunamis that everybody is predicting on all the coastlines.
Stretch it out. And maybe go pull a little just like this. Right? And then try and stretch it out. I put more pressure on this part of the rolling pin to try and pull it from the inside out. If you're wondering. Right? The outside edges are thinner. That's what's on the inside. That's why you kind of have to take it from here and put pressure and just try and stretch it out until it doesn't move. And then you pull it up. Right. Flip it over. And keep doing that until you just don't want to do it no more. Okay? That's how you do it. See, this is still kind of too thick. Right? Okay, so now we're going to try it. Just, I don't know, can't see people. We're just going to cut it like this. But we're going to make it real thin. Because the deeper you get into the noodle, this is just the ends, right? But the deeper, versus having to go like this, right? Is what I'm trying to say. Okay, because I'm going to make, we'll see how it works here in a second. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. Anyway, just keep going like this. And we'll see what we get.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, you can hear what I'm listening to, right?
A lot of quality time with Miss Majday.
Every now and then.
Anybody in his family,
it's that
to be his own best.
Nitpicking that
he will be great. Yes, he will
brings in traffic.
In my opinion, just show Trees
right.
Don't give a damn about her kids. That's all it shows.
Makes them
that's all it shows.
get ahead.
That's it. And this is my handkerchief.
Keep
Don't
people
worry about me.
coming
my
back for
got
more.
A washer
right?
and a dryer.
She just went live, Roz. No one cares.
Okay, do you see? I'm just cutting it straight. Can you?
With our Roz and the Roz squad. I'm so glad
I
to
have
be
to
a
move my
part
fingers
of the
to
Roz
see where I am.
Over here is so much love. Over
And
here
then we're gonna see what we get.
I broke a tooth on the highway, right, Robin? And they want to say it wasn't a highway, it was a celery. Hey, my sweet Ruby King. Oh, you see her, Sharita? She in here. Linda, who's jealous?
You can control the thickness of it
Roz is blessed. Haters,
in terms of
haters.
the strips, because what's going to end up happening here
Right, they do. They be bad.
is you're going to
They see
get
my life and
those
still
long
say,
things.
It's bad.
And then in this situation, these are thinner than the first batch that I made. It's easier to cut them this way, because you can control the thickness of it for the most part. So I'm going to make some more little noodle patties. Right, and we'll just call them noodle patties. Right, so hold on. Okay, so I'm going to finish this video probably just with this. I did 3 batches. Right, so I know where to find some other flour. I got flour, I just don't want to dig for them right now. My son said I can use some of his flour. So I'm going to go grab some more flour. So doing it this way is kind of fast. Right, you can see what's going on here. Right. And I'm going to make another batch to eat, and I'm going to give my son some. And now, so 3 got dehydrated today. Well, that's good. Right, some of them I'm making into burger shapes. Other ones are the thin ones. So basically, I said what I wanted to say in terms of, I don't know, people. I've had too much of a hard life to be feeling the way I feel, knowing what I know, going through what we've been through, having to face the shit that we're facing now in terms of what our governments are doing, to be, I don't know, bite my tongue so that the corporation can be patted on the back, right, in terms of promoting lies. Nothing stops them. All you have to do is look at my family to see how nothing stops them. They go in cycles, people. People are going to see that over the next year or 2. I think so, more and more. That blurred line between the predator class and the victims to them is not going to be so blurred. It's going to become more and more apparent. Yeah. So, I don't plan on making too many more videos for YouTube right now. I'm just doing this to put it up there to say I have videos on BitChute that if you haven't gone there, you haven't seen them because they're not on YouTube. When YouTube gave me the strike, I went off and did about 4 or 5 more videos. Right? I've been making videos, I just haven't been uploading them up on YouTube. I made one thinking I was going to put it up on YouTube after the strike was over, but what's the point? That's the thing, what's the point? Right. So before I'd put that one up, I'd put this one up. And then if you notice I'm not making any videos, well, it's not that I'm not making any videos, I'm just not putting them up on YouTube. Because just thinking about it depresses me. Right. So what videos I'll be making and what I'll be talking about remains to be seen. BitChute isn't really into this type of stuff in terms of their viewership. It's more news kind of related and that kind of stuff. You know, versus cooking. Right? But there are no rules when it comes to making videos. Okay. So if you like watching this kind of stuff, or you're interested in what I got to say, well, like I said, if nothing's being posted up on YouTube, you're going to have to find a way to sign on to BitChute, because that's just the only way. When I get more time, maybe I'll try and do some live streams or something on Facebook. Maybe I'll try and do some on YouTube, but you know what, people? I'm not that motivated. I got nothing to prove. I'm not trying to make money off of people. Right? You know? I don't even know what I'm going to do with the foundation anymore. In terms of, I just might call it quits. Yeah, and then there'll be no reason for me to be doing videos outside of holding my government to account for what they've done to my family all these years. As my family tried to be responsible and do the right thing. And instead, they lost their lives over it. Something YouTube doesn't want to acknowledge. I guess they figure by pretending to ignore, to pretend that it never happened, or to not really talk about it, you know, other than just surface talk. Just bullshit talk. If you do the bullshit talk, you'll be fine. But as soon as you say something that makes people think, starts exposing the real evil in our community, that's when they come after you. And they do come after your family. I've been a community activist for a long time, people. My family isn't half dead just because. Okay, there's a reason for it. So, that's pretty much it. So now I'm going to go hunt for some more flour and make another batch for dinner. But I'll probably, I see I'm burning out. So it's almost like I want to do this now and then start dishes. Because if I start dishes, it's going to take me 2 hours to do dishes, off and on, in between whatever else I'm doing in the kitchen there. All right, and I took out chicken. I was going to cook it yesterday, but I just got real tired. I got a squash from my yard. Obviously, Andre wanted these. I was too tired. Yeah. But I'm trying to keep a steady pace right now. So 8 of these round things again. That's good. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so that's another 4 more per bag. Right? Or maybe I'll do, you could put 8 of those in a bag. You wrap them separate. 2 per package. This one here is very thin, right? So I put them in this first, then I put them in this, which is the standard one with the, right? And it works out good. So if I think of another recipe, I'll let you know.